Drake just dropped a new album for all the dogs. Y'all know me, I'm old school, so I am definitely on the I miss the old Drake train. Yeah, I do. But I gotta get into that. In today's video, I'm gonna share with y'all my top 5 tracks, Drake's new album for all the dogs. And this criteria is solely based on my preference in music, and basically we're coming from a producer's perspective, so this isn't necessarily the best songs on the album. These are just my favorite beats on the album, and like I said, that criteria is totally my own because if you guys don't know me, my name is Real Deal and I am a boom bap lo-fi producer, and sometimes I dabble in a little reggaeton, but whatever. So the criteria for these beats for these songs are as follows. For one, the vibe. What's the vibe? That's it. That's like the most important one. 2, how close / similar the song is to the type of music that I make, aka boom bap, old school hip hop, lo-fi, reggaeton. But 3, the use of samples. Using samples in trap has recently become like pretty popular, which is pretty cool because y'all know I love samples. I grab a sample, I chop a sample, and I make a beat. And number 4, obviously the drums, so let's get into it. Yeah, number 5 is members only. First of all, I may have not grown up in the 80s, but I still want a members only jacket. What I really liked about members only was the drums. What I really liked from members only was the drums though. Dope. That was dope. And the use of the vocal chop. I also liked the classic, typical Drake muffled sound that they use for the melody. Yeah, I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Number 4 on the list is First Person Shooter. This is probably one of the best tracks on the album per se, but we're not talking about the best songs on the album. We're talking about my favorite beats on the album based on the similarity to the sound that I create as a music producer. Trap isn't my area of expertise. It's not my area of preference. Y'all know that. I stick to boom bap and lo-fi, very chill, mellow, old school hip hop beats. And First Person Shooter is not this, but First Person Shooter has a dope ass melody, awesome uses vocal chops, and your standard typical trap drums that's just like, they just hit right. When they hit right, and the song is dope. And number 3 is Gently featuring Bad Bunny. Alright, so Conejito Malo. The reason why this song comes in at number 3 is because it is your, I don't want to say your typical standard, but it is very similar. Like it's become very familiar. It's just what you've come to know and love with Bad Bunny. Like there are certain parts of the song where it was just like it would pick up like your typical reggaeton, like your typical reggaeton beat, but there are parts where it was just like a little bit slowed down tempo, kind of like Dakiri, and I really enjoyed that. Number 2 on the list, my top 2, my second favorite beat in For All the Dogs is Bahamas Promises. First of all, props to song choice, song title choice. If this was the list for coolest song titles on the album, Bahamas Promises would be at number 1. Sounds like the drink, Bahamas Promises. I'll have a Bahamas Promises on the rocks. My favorite part of Bahamas Promises was the melody. The melody was very smooth, jazz, soulish, and the dog barking in the background was hilarious. It was kind of startling the first time. I was like, what's that? Because there's not supposed to be any dogs around me when I was listening to that song this morning. So now it's time for an honorable mention. And honorable mention that it just barely made the list was Rich Baby Daddy. And one of the reasons why is because it's very reminiscent of that Miami bass sound, like, you know, like Uncle Luke, like Oye Morena, like, you know, like that booty shaking music that we're so used to down here in Miami. So it was like, at night I think of you. It was really like that song actually got me like hype, you know, like everything else I was just like listening to it, like jamming out, but this song I was like, hey. Now coming in at number 1. First of all, see if you can guess what song I picked at number 1. The number 1 song, not number 1 song. My number 1 choice, my top pick, my favorite beat on Drake's new album For All the Dogs, 8 AM in Charlotte. The vocal chop, amazing. The drums, fantastic. Dope. They were just pretty cool. They were just simple but oh so good. Vocal chop is what got to me. I really love the use of vocal chop on 8 AM in Charlotte. So yeah, that's my list. Have at it, do with it what you will. But these are my top 5 tracks from Drake's new album. From a music producer's perspective, these are my top 5 favorite beats, considering the fact that I mostly dabble in boom bap and lo-fi and a little bit of reggaeton. So yeah, let me know what you think of the list. Let me know what you think of the videos. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And like always, don't sleep on me. Peace.